Welcome to part 1 of the video, whereby the title is Year 2026 United States versus China. And I would like to specifically tell you that the figures which I have taken is from this magazine, which is Fortune India magazine. Now, I am a subscriber of this magazine and I hardly found a concrete material from this magazine. I challenged this magazine many times on my YouTube channel, and now I'm starting challenging the magazine on Twitter also. Rather, I wrote many tweets to this magazine, but hardly I got any substantial reply. But one thing I have to admit, to be very honest, as far as the Indian media is concerned, which is the kind of material, I repeat, the kind of material they are uploading or they are printing is completely manipulated, or in other words, the real content of the magazine is missing. So, for a normal reader who do not have any economic background, who do not know how to challenge the status quo, who do not know the real facts and figures, for him or her, distinguish between the reality and what our media houses are printing is next to impossible. I would repeat, is next to impossible. And this isn't, I repeat, this isn't the story of this magazine. I repeat, I study many magazines in a month, which includes Dalal Street, Business World, and many other magazines. Most of the time, I repeat, most of the time, the situation of the Indian magazines more or less is same. More or less is same. I would come to the detail. First, let me give you an introduction. So guys, this video, we know that once we are shooting this video, Russia is deeply engaged with a war with Putin. And I have to admit, this is one of the foolish mistake by Russian president, and he would be paying the price very, very deeply, as the leading indices producers like Standard & Poor, FTSE, Morgan Stanley, and others, they have started cutting Russian assets from their indices, which precisely means that Russian stocks who used to value at a very high price, now they are slowly coming to cents. Probably it's a matter of another few days, not months. It's a matter of few days that the investors, those who are holding these assets, rather a substantial positions in these Russian assets, their valuation would be almost zero. And this will trigger, I repeat, this will trigger a series of bankruptcy in Russia, which means that one by one, the corporates, those who used to list on Standard & Poor, FTSE, Morgan Stanley, or various indices, they would get bankrupt one by one, which not only trigger the domestic losses, which means the losses to the Russian nationals, but will also trigger losses to the international investors. Specifically speaking, United States Bank, which by the way would trigger the substantial credit losses to the US banks. As we speak, China Citibank. As we speak, Citibank himself agreed in the public that they are holding near about 10 billion, which I repeat, 10 billion of Russian assets. And they agreed to this figure 2 weeks ago. And now, as we speak, the value common sense is deteriorated, which means that what is the exact valuation? I repeat, what is an exact valuation of this 10 billion worth of exposure Citibank do hold? We completely aware about that. So, guys, the situation is really very, very tough. But unfortunately, many people don't aware about that. And why they don't aware about that? Because they do not study a magazine which is free, which is called Google. There is an ample of information you will get on the Google. But unfortunately, majority of the people do not use Google in a relevant way. But this economic relationship between US and Russia would definitely trigger another impending, I repeat, another impending economic relationship, which is United States and China. So if as an investor, as a financial institution, as a hedge fund, or probably as a big pension fund, or as a big family office, if you are thinking that Russia Ukraine war is the only thing for 2022, then the upcoming parts would let you know that a more than bigger, which is, I repeat, a more than bigger problem on the way. The intelligent hedge funds, pension funds, institutional investors, FPIs and all, they have already started hedging this. And rest, who are dependent on the media, are simply waiting as an audience. This is Rahul Magan. This is part 1. In this part 2, I will bring some statistics which are eye-opening. See you with the part 2.